understand why SOBD me at. I just simply don't understand. Somebody can say Domase number 2 or me as Santefoa. Oh, but why do you have to insult me? Doesn't make any sense. Sebica fracture. But bed the bassam, bad Domase number 2 for bed the bassam. Nay, grandmother never saw my woman here. But all the Baba she so Baba Piso, they have agreed to contest. Until the man, I made the Baba Wana. And then one thing about Munkro Bomusu said, Domase number 2 akunyano. Say otum fokai. Say awia panyina dida. Na awia panyina so asena bedi bantama akunya. Awia panyina bedi bantama akunya no ma abosontwe. Ekodi Domase number 2 akunya no. O ma no wo fase. So the Domase number 2 akunya no within the Bono region no. I friend awia panyina 2. I bet my friend was on Chris 2 no. They are members of the Santamine Council. You understand? So when they are members of the Santamine Council, now me as a catch in my pan, me better Hannah Mekan. Why do you go on social media and then be insulting me? Doesn't make sense. Now, Baba Saman Benson, Bajiatu. Baba Saman Yanampa Benim said they are members of the Santamine Council. Baba Saman even Bia Bolum Crafana dance for. I'm a Otum for Bia. But these are the lessons I'm because I had this again. One, by the decision of Otum for, I say from November 1901, I bet Che Quabrancher. The next person will be dear Kunyania Quamquine, and Quamquine was Quamquine. And therefore, decision as I tell him the Amas from 1902 to 1903, Babasi, Nano Yawodan. Do the calculation. Masa Ana Bedia Kunyana from 1901 or 1902 to 2025. Nano Yawodain. If you do the calculation, for more than 100 years, no, Mana Bedia Kunyano sa. And therefore, Otum for Shishimuno, what blockono, so free nekono, tinton. That is one additional as a issue. Additional say, Amanda a cancer. Yeah, opportunity Timbama, Madi Bedia Kunyanibi. But opportunity Timba Manu Bedia Kunyanibia. A point in time, no. The royal family no be Kunyana and Nisa Bebre. And that decision by Otum for no. Just a replica of the Brekum. And now a Kuyami and Echo Supreme Court. Brekum, they know, appointed from the 4th Brekum chief. The Mahosa Ebesi, Dr. Leonor Owian. So among the accounts, it means that, well, 18 something, 17 something, 16 something, 14 something, 19 something. A timbers and Martinia quite dear couldn't be. But then a point in time, no, royal family now who never yeah, it should go in their favor. And being a domestic number 2 as no 2 for behind. A bishop Brekum as some Neko Supreme Court. No. Because in the Brekum case in the Supreme Court, no Kuyamiano. Versus Nana Ofori Apia case, and now Kuyamia and others. Versus Nana Ofori Apia and others. The Supreme Court of Ghana, speaking through a Paul Sika say, do for check and show da. Ultimate Nadinkem. So that once it's a ma, I'm Modia Kunyano, I am ma, we are the multi members of the royal family. So this idea, I may say, like I said, I mean to me, I said, if you don't want to, because I just be home, and I just want to use this opportunity. Say the we are seeing Obian, a betie, no Bessia, and me Obia Metaya. 2. Now, by that decision by Otum for Santamano, now I could or the Benyan see it, but definitely it means that Nana Quamnacher, but she no, Bekunu no. That was in 1901. Kwamrache was killed on 24th November 1901. 1901, 24th November. Kwamna chile kra no baba bedi they say Bantama Kunya. Na Yasantoa War no, he was a general in the Yasantoa War. And therefore from 1901 up to 2025 nano ya wode almost 120 something years no. Nano ya wode no to for restore Adiano back to the Kwamna family. And that is possible in law, in history, and in tradition. It's possible. Because applying the Supreme Court case in Nana Okuyamiya and others versus Oforapia and others, no, that was the decision Supreme Court no kind. Now, many workers say, Nano ya wada ya no obiano. Nehima bi woho. And that himano or a gazetted queen mother.
Okay.
So in law, what is the effect? Now, Otu Fagoka say, oh hima kurano, no, onye this year. What do they make it no? By that decision, it means that the queen mother no any full-blooded royal. And therefore, so you full-blooded royal, dear, like I said, no. Yeah. Now, Biba says, Nasaba gazette no. Say a gazette no. Once again, the law in chieftaincy, the law on history and tradition says the fact that say ya gazette no. Enti ma usa wonya royal. Na so fa kwa bisu kodia konya na gazette kura. E ma wo na ye royal. Once a non-royal, always a non-royal. And that position of the law, no, Ubenyan or Mampong. Mampong so case because do Supreme Court. Mampong no more than be a friend of Gatti. Or no now mutu no you na no de be dia queen. On about so teaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obedi Mampong a queen for almost 8 or 9 years. He got gazetted. But the Supreme Court said that look, when you're royal. And the law is that once you are not a royal, no, even if you are gazetted, royal. So that applied the Supreme Court in the Mampong case, apply it to a domestic case. It means that Queen Mother now you gazetted no crown within the gazette, because she's not a royal. She ceases to be a royal, and she cannot be a royal, and therefore to mean yakunyano. So that is another aspect of the law. So I want to be who said, but the domestic be case study no amayano. So we are here now say ya gazette wa. The brain no better argument is say, hey lawyer, ba gazette no, ba gazette no, ba gazette no. Ya gazette na in law, it is a presumption. And yet conclusive, and yet rebuttable. And yet conclusive, and rebuttable. And to the fact that you are gazetted no, once you are not a royal, once what you mean for Bishop Diakunyano, once Bettima gazetted no, in law it doesn't make it conclusive. Say we are royal. And to your Mislamu, more mutaji to say the better by gazetted no, I am pa gazetted no man yet. So wabeye say ya gazetted intino, wababa be royal. But let me take another AB man, Denchira. Who's a Denchira stool? No, your friend Bankama stool. For one reason or the other, they casimo, Miss Ramican. So be Benya Bia Denchira, a Conyano, answer Denchira Conyan says, so many years. Sabio Obi Benya Denchira Conyanadi. Nako Bassett Nipan on your royal. You can still challenge the person, even though Timia Gazette to Kuram Pa.
But you must on the GMT.
Exactly, because the decision was made in the Mampong case, and it is true in law. So that in Denchira, it is only the royals of the Bankamans too. It is only the royals of the Bankamans too. Or the person may tell you, sir, me a Denchira Agonani in law, in history and tradition. Yentamu nyinaa no. Sabi anyam from so bi na meya. What is a bit of me agonani pe. Onya ka agona pe. No the one you call denchira. Because agona kura na wa sante I has a CA. O kon fa no che agona no. If you delve into our history no, omo ye denchira for. So wherever I can't have a BBS so Western regional, Eastern regional, Volta Ashanti regional. Bono is not the way me. Agona for pet. What takes I be pet? That's how they call Mumunufie. As for Mumunufie was the first one known Denchirahene who came to the school from 1588 to 1624. From 1588 to 1624. You understand? Eti other me a Denchirani, and I'm a Agunani, and I'm a Bankama Royal. Pet, no one you call a Denchira. Sana Obenya Bisu, Doma. All of me are transini. Me I cannot see me. Anytime you meet any person, whether it's a gun, how a brochuro here, no, besides all your hin, all of me are transini. We are here, all of me I cannot see me. On your case, a pet, not just a full blooded royal of the Doma, a Quamustula, or Tim Diacunyanibi, or Tim Dihima, or Tim Dihina. It is meant for only royals. Oh, God, touch him, so was I. Also, I said 3 gates, a Christmas now, Rano, and I've forgotten about the third one. It is meant for the Christmas, Arano, and the third one. So the person is said royal of Techima. So I'm not just a mere Techima this year. I'm not talking about Sabia or Diegan, and this I said, oh, yeah, this year, Nabusian saying, well, I'm a Christmas with me. And I'm a no sampa. Then there's another one I've forgotten about. He's a full-blooded royal. Now, Mwenchi no, Ubisazala this year. We are this of the Busiani. Also, Titinity who not just Obwa. Because any full-blooded royal of Mwenchi since 1600 Ebonimiano, others say I am quadrano ye free. So far, see you free, and I him fear you free. If you are not from Quadrano, you free. So far, see you free, I him fear you free. What do you mean, Yakoyan, Roman key? Whether cream mother or henny. So by the baby who confirm, not so the Diacoyan, when you so far see you free, and I him fear you free, and then Quadrano you free. Asamaba. You think that you are so rich? Who was Sikao Bibia? Then so. There's a question mark.
Yeah.
So no matter chitancy, no matter the number of years, Ubedia Kunyano. To say the master dear and no 2 for him and Diaconana check. At least to the best of my another in 15 or 20 years. But in law, because from that in iron null and void, because you are not a royal. You cannot be a royal. And by the decision in the Kuyamia, and you for appear on case, to for check and show that want to be an bench. About that decision, once you are not a royal, even though so we are gazetted, it doesn't make you a royal. And therefore, you are ineligible in law. It is the same I established. Him and Sokonyana baby. Sana Mampondiana.
Okay.
You know, so what one is you. And we need to be very, very careful, chieftains. In fact, when we are dealing with the Akropon forms say one more. Konyano means a get near me and sa. Bakoye, Sachibia, the Jama, and the 3. So anyone to occupy the Oforikuman stool, you must belong to one of these two. Now, but the Anokrad and Yamani are very interested in say. In any of these gates in England, you are Brewetia. And therefore, say through such be a family no tenor. It is the Brewetia of the sexual family no. Or not in consultation with the elders who select. Now say here or select here. not the Akoma Cremada. And to Baba Becca said, there's a general proposition, say,
all right.
A Hima Bia Neso Yihene, a Yahini Bia Neso Yihiman. That is not the position of the law.
Okay. The National Cathedral, the National Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, National Thanksgiving Day, because say, oh, baby, now, Madame for Ahmed, so Abe man, but I'm said, or no, oh, yeah, no, or no one can say, when information of first hand. But the position of the National Thanksgiving Day was very simple. Maybe my good friend Ahmed will listen this morning. Many Americans say, but the day she was a National Thanksgiving. Yeah, the Yamiase. Yeah, the Yamiase. Sametina say, yeah, the Yamiase. Now, all over an opa, I could see we are. I'm a Christopher. No, I am we are so kakra, urban, I'm uncremofo. That is why I raised the point. I'm a Madame Farmer went to me. My point was that, look, so what the word the Yankupon was here. And Yankramofon Kwania Christopher Kwan. It is a whole respectability, sir. Program wire and Cramofo and a Christopher Kwan. Me Obiri Boahen and one yard. Every door I'm a Catholic. But I need to be fair and honest. Why? I didn't remember a Christopher Nagrim said. So, yeah, Christo Kwan, Christo Sombia, Sombia. I want Crabophobia, so I didn't say. Say, yeah, Cramosom Kwandia, Sombia. But I beg to differ. Religion is fit to the root. And therefore, so by a National Thanksgiving Day. No one man opportunity for Rastafarians. For me, Obiri Boahen, what?
Opportunity for me.
Rastafarians. 2. And your Rastafarians. Oh, yeah, National Thanksgiving Day no Accra. And when you consider the history of the Gansa, whether you are dealing with the Nungwa, the Teshi, the Osu, the La, and the Tema people, Wolomo plays a very, very important role. Under no circumstances can you talk in history of the settlement of the Nungwa, Teshi, Osu, La, and then Toma is the Tema people. Without giving recognition to Wolomo. Then you don't know, you are not a historian. You are not a good historian. And therefore, we have National Thanksgiving Day. Men respect to a Christopher Ninkrabufon coin. Traditional, I mean, you see the proper word, traditional African religion. You understand? Then it means you have given, so what by a National Thanksgiving Day one kind? So we have Osua. So without the Ulomo coming to pour libation, it doesn't make sense.
We are not software preaching.
You can do Namaya hours, so Ulomo.
So there can be segregations. They are from 7 to
7
8.
a.m.
Ulomo Muguninsa.
Ulomo, Ulomo,
9 to 12.
Ulomo, traditional worshippers. Nogopo, Kwaku free, Apapa, Kwaku Bronsam, Munaya, Mamma 7 to 9. You know, I think that we should do as some may be my minor conning. Sometimes I am a miracle. No, my motto. I try to for
also mom's on my Christopher man.
Oh, please, they should stop that. They should stop that. The men call.
Oh, can be that.
Oh, men can be
second I Christopher man.
Men can be that. Because I respect a man for religion. To be country, so can be for Quapin for who said, and then a Quapin for settlement, no, a dimu Cassia. The Quapin should not give recognition to Akonedi. You can't tell me that. No, Kashamin into. What to be Mamma country, let me say, Ebia and Granza for Zadia Becca said, Chimamine. And how can you tell people of the Chimine or me one time one say, a bottle or a short time or Yashi?
A bottle.
Bottle.
Touch him on own.
And bottle. Touch him and bottle. It was established, it was found out around 1230. Yeah, bottle. 1230. One of the powerful shrines. 1230. So, So my car
So when I can't be no minor, yeah, just you are doing it.
Exactly.
And so if you are doing a Thanksgiving, it should involve all.
We are President Mahama, Opa, what do you call more Christopher Dian? They call Cremofodian. But no room for other religions. I mean, honestly, I am very hurt. Yes. It means that we don't we have bias.
Now, Christian Indians and guy, we must have been found.
We are Christian, but we are a knowledgeable person. So I respect.
Yeah, that's
Exactly. Baha'i is there. Buddhism is there. Confucianism is there. Shintoism is there. Traditional African religion. No, please. That is wrong. No, in water region, especially when you go to the Evers, when the Evers are praying or the Quran, not the Shog, not the no Peja Kosusia. It is the recognition of the fact that the Evers believe that they moved from Egypt to Sudan, no Asian Ghana, no. So anytime they accept, they say the Ra, Asian sun god Ra. Until Evers and so person born in Paya, the first thing.
On usually good crime, then he lifted that up.
Exactly.
Egypt,
Sudan,
migration here,
Egypt, Sudan. Even it was Iraq, Egypt, yeah, Iraq,
hey,
Egypt,
Sudan. The Evers. What Ghana? The migration route here, Iraq, Egypt, Sudan
to Asian Ghana, back to Nigeria,
and some of
them even they came to Togo. I go calling and I had so once again, remember chieftaincy. You may be a royal, but if you are descendant of Agokolia, ever seen Fakonyana with me. So you should respect that. You think say obedience or no go po, obedience or chinaman, obedience or papa, obedience or banya, obedience or boy bedru. It's somebody's religious belief. Nijidie. Obiso be Rastafarian. What else? There's nothing wrong. And don't associate the man say, or a Rastafarian, and now or a Bano Rastafarian, that is wrong. Because Rastafarian bakunum and just Rastafarians in Nano, Benum we. Even you were another religion, Master Dashan. Master that. Until they want to Timunino. Rastafarians, Master Dashan, Master Ajab, Confucianism, Buddhism, Baha'i. My baby, 1 hour, Musumu Mafawi. Then you name it traditional African religion, Musumu Mafasi. It is on the Tapabani Babaho or the jail, my baby 1 hour.
Okay, may I say 39 after 7?
So that is the point I was making about then the cathedral itself. The point I was because the President Mahama once again me no nyaga.
Also about converting to National Cultural Convention Center.
A huge disappointment for me. Why? When I go for the starting so your cathedral, and your cathedral per se no na me opposition. But my opposition was that in fact taxpayers' money. And I go fiage my doma DC no. One fee. Obiri Boahen dio musunyame on Gazare. No, but the point I was making said you don't use taxpayers' money. So
it wasn't the edifice cathedral and now we're against. But the funding.
The funding.
Okay.
I've never been against. Now Roman against cathedral.
Oh, that's so cool.
But that's so cool.
When was the last time I called?
Oh, last time I called in chair, but
how many years?
Oh, 2025 years I come back.
Before so I called 2025, now call it.
Tomorrow 7 years.
And the Roman for that was who said, who's your muscle?
And I know my corner Bomasi.
To walk back, who is a video between the best 7 years and that was I could be.
Because I the best year 2 gums on my corner. Some cathedral.
Over 2 1
and I watch the house and be out to Fidia, Roman, and so on. Cathedral, they have very few doing until you said the National of a cathedral. No, that is the thing. Don't use taxpayers' money. The problem we have in Africa is
because already Otelia Okaina, a dinga can almost sano.
Nomenclature.
A dini keke.
Nomenclature. A dini keke.
Because I realized that after is it a chieftains and religious minister no Ebeka say umu politicize national cathedral too much and they regret it.
Min can be kura. No, because you see, it's a nomenclature.
And I won't gonna leave you.
Oh, me again, and then better me can say. A man for no air politicizes, no need basis. But you make the idea now, me basis in say, man, fat taxpayers' money. Because you know, we are told, and in France, even if you go to Israel now, most of the baby na ya will draw or ha, na yesu was sure. Private companies are running those institutions. Private companies. Some of them are Canadian companies. Some of them Irish companies. So please, the lesson is yes, you say, man, for taxpayers' money and funny. But not typical African politicians. One pesika di, one pesika wia, one pesika bokrono, one can honor no be me come talk with the biano. Because I know who pay wia. I don't know the taxpayers' money. Allow a private company to run that venture. So you cannot cram my home part National Theatre, Jerry John Run in CCC way. And a very good project, but in the White Elephant project.
Yeah.
But think you leaders in a Jiwamu didn't come with my private company. Not private company or no running Saturday. Years back, now then Saturday be as Africo. But no, my year beginning crack or years back in the cultural center. But you know, I buy no
Jubilee 24.
I catch a foreign pain for baby years he continue. Maintenance and Uncoso. Because how do you have the rhetoric plaque Kumasi have? From my private.
You see the money I'm private money.
Private, never because selected private.
Does it ever selected?
No, but you know, we should be very candid and then be very transparent.
Now, when you must back home, there was a beautiful fountain. For years, a year or two, not a year, and somebody be my private own. Private man, they buy now, to me operating, say, remove to me the operative fountain. Aya. To be seen there, remove the year beauty, fountain in your maybe.
So, I must say, me Kasabi. Some African intellectuals and politicians, but didn't shame more.
And all this, there was a forensic audit. You didn't report to buy, no. You buy power 8 years. Or says Bill, Sampaio, Mum Cotton came, Ubianka was it.
So,
and some of the assembly members were even telling us, say, woman did forensic report and Bill Ross says to be abolition. Woman per copy, no, or near to 2 pages, media free.
No, Africa, you better catch it, sir, because you know, we have few honest people. Africa could get son and Lewin. Many so many bit to some. So the Lewin can say the whole Ghana. But we are sure, say, I will take the custom crying the whole Africa. No, I never. One more year project to be one kind. One from the Independence Square. One say, Kwame Nkrumah was a linen one. One so what complex, court complex, or no man. Mr. Bedin Tensi and a project like this, not Ghana buying in a Abba. No from people in DC. Some of the politicians you have disappointed Ghanaians because of Marco Barcelona. So Barcelona pa beach no pa send you city and one. Now one kind of what is my private company? And the MPP na started a for pencil. One yet Professor Amos by John Mahama by Nana Kufuor by. So now the project in here.
Dr. Bamiel suggested some of these things in the manifesto. No? Say road Takumase Accra Highway, Kwarenke, their private person, not why yeah. But see schools are whatever over privatizing. They lease it back to government. Yeah, you got to cars, no. I buy convoy tin network so 2 years near ocean near there, you know, or my private agency. Now I buy a rent it. Dr. Mamia, the
so I don't know a visionary.
but the anti.
Oh, send it.
There's a kind of one pet.
Yes, I got for pay, but no.
I know what
System, no. System, I, with due respect, I am so corrupt to say. So, Ubana system, no Nipano who said, Uber Chiabi Bibia.
A quite of us we didn't know, but see,
Obesiama. Because how says a Ghana buying this Kakoya for the crew market? Doesn't make sense. What Persika for pa, what Ghana hanging out, baby, will come as here. Me, my dad for Kwame, that's why no for this upon. Diana will mercy see the stores. Madame for Kesben. A day of mercy see the stores. So why don't you enter in agreement more for this upon Kesben and as a wound to me, or be a businessman? A boy, Abuaji
contractor, Emmanuel Abuaji.
Sir, I have another friend, SDM, your friend Uswansa. So, Nina.
Oh, the company card is it good print or
Madame for no?
They say, oh, no, Omo Ede Ratupa Kamana or managing.
Uswansa.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
I want to run about going for Western Pharmacy.
Uswansa.
That's mini supermarket no minor. I bantama ultra
very good.
Silver Crest winner.
Madame for no.
Yeah. Is that not your book?
Or printing books is
yeah.
Very quiet. Open. Uswansa Kasa. Oh, Mugaze. So, be me a bossy wabra bomb shade. Uswansa, sir.
Company a gold printer.
You cannot tell me, sir. Or for the crop market, no. What the more Uswansa?
And a very generous man.
Uswansa is very generous.
Very, very generous man.
What is happening in this country? What are they moving back as a salary? Because you got Jofort also was to have done a pim Kwaunino, a pim 1,000 in Accra. 1,000 a pim store done a corn on Sana, a pim also Jofort. So the man dying pan, a pamper so see. A malata marketo, a he marketo, a he marketer, a job for intimacy. But the system is so corrupt. The system is so tainted. Because I got all the command also answer, and I come despite, and I wound to me, and answer Casmia, Penino dear, you know, young trouble. Ah, they call an answer by. And yet this is a institutional. You're telling your man for the ghost names. As she says, baby, what are we drafting? What about Tanaka? Obiri Boahen no be Kaza do ntini ba man posi. Nti I better. I mean, is there any sense, any logic?
From the national Thanksgiving and the national cathedral, I say I saw the seminar, you know, way. Ghana's abstention.
Oh, why is again?
UN Human Rights Council.
NDC Suban Bipa. Then I ask myself, Nti, Meson Diana.
Why did you expect something different? A change NDC led by John Mahama?
At least. This money when you hear there. But to abandon NDC aba. Bansama beka any name be. Because men better not hear once a LGBT no dear. Bent want to win no tom, want to win any channel tom. And Miss Ebaso, now your sister no correct chili. Bama for Bema, Bam for Bar, a chili. My tenant came out of Hunda, and I was in full support of St. George. And I don't hear people like St. George.
Now, of course, I was also say, I know what John was on.
Roman software. At the Chamber, maybe some. I am extremely worried. And someone St. George, you know, could you top black one? What? In fact, intellectual dishonesty, when we are super sure we come to a Bible. Come to a Bible. No wonder. That was Ibroniba and open quaton on for in Africa. Because even 2024, 2025, now you're catching phone in the for being Kasashaha, Saniba person Shahadia. So imagine young anima, some can fret you once you could never snap a breno. No, snap that, and as a Bama. And NDC as a party, I call it to about LGBTQ. We say abstain. And Okujato wanted to explain. Okujato was explaining, I am going to see. Please, you people are disappointing.
You don't subscribe to that explanation he gave.
Unkawanka Kranke, yeah. Unkawanka Kranke. The Okujatos and the sub-judges and some of these issues and President Mahama, there have been a huge disappointment to Ghanaians and to the level-minded Africans. Ultimately, Samento. And this other people, Nakufado sign, Nakufado sign, Nakufado Pegea some, Nakufado. Okay, say way, Bill, way once and now, and the dear to a troll let it be said.
Yeah.
And the Karabi crack and among people you see it. Because they use it and campaigned against the MPP. And now, Baya, St. George was all over the place. And now it is Okasa. Because I know quite long cruisers will be doing. I extremely worried. In fact, the coming of the NDC, you know, my GDA, was some African politicians about ye. Because I never hear Baba and the near him said, Ebia, I'm sorry, I say, and then, Nquadia, Thanos Sabino. But all of a sudden, just a near President Mahama, Etimako Jinaho, Ako can say, Obedano from cathedral to this. Just a nomenclature. Because even Baba cathedral and crown. On the same night, cathedral and Tino, send no musi designer or money of the brain. We know I got the same thing on the
Yeah.
But is it fair? President Mahama bet Marshall from. And I say in his quiet moment, I say, and can when you clock carry the baby museum, and got to us, you say, Haravan, and yet a banner, never private. And can I just say, Obiri Boahen, make a check for the Mahama search because they may pen away. No. Where are we drifting? So, what I want to say? Galamsey is still going on. I sat here and said, Galamsey, some no more can. When you have some more, I'm dear, but my man named Mayan Bebril. Because your papa your mine in England and bear your Galamsey. Because I've been more licenses. Now, so can you newspaper room say 2025 fee, Bama Binum licenses, Sabe to a forest reserve.
Forest reserve.
2025.
And I saw say supposed to watch a Miaminia, a could you prepare small scale miners association, my chairman. How yet known NDC say on a Chinese be a year more foresting. And then there was a promise of repealing the airline that mandates mining in our forest reserves. Yeah, by I see a bear amendment. Amendment, no crowd you know the
other law. No, Mamma can be said. MPP free, so law no law fun. Because young showing in a few quiet. And so law now, and but Nippa be quite a man of quiet. Nippa no quiet, no young from you. What does it? But I mean, not commissioner, man.
Quite so umurum,
and it's backed by law, LI 2462. And the MPP for pension, because I did a phone. And my baba ya mine no bebre kura no be ma be nhwem bio mara ndie mi gina ni mgina na me sang so ka say me de mine no me nhwe na MPP NDC mine no eye because one asase nyina ase odua bura enye yie odua kokko a enye yie yetu agudie so wo fam. And it's a forest may of reserve. Na yetu. Ne kro ho me ma ne ma ye nya adwuma. Me se ne ko wasakropon. Ko madam fu bi wa ya invite me abroso. Abroso invite me. Be me je me ko legal vacation. Fa dia so fa yam free. Kwa si wasakropon ko si. Nipa wo me ye engage in mining no. Pepe. So do we have to say Yankee Chibenyasa. But just make sure say Womubenya krata. So MPP time, I said some media attract banning of mining or mean tiasia because a manipa bebre jumaye. Baba beka setiam. And this for na mining na kufado. Nibima kwa sensuo wo baby nobody actually. I'm saying that mining is still going on. And that I'm authoritatively informed say 2025 a been based on the existence of LI 2462 no. A binumo LI 2462 a binumo any permit to go into the forest. Near Koyana nearby. Na campaign anomoye crucify Kufrado, crucify MPP from now what he find. Have we been fair to ourselves? So that is the dilemma. Near Yanamunio. Some no kurakan, the Abibrim had the yet Timmy Tenase about the institution way, ghost names. No, Madame Sagum say, a Radina Copon. Ghost names is better be about 10,000. Now, PP for my man and my ability to fear bear per Jumaya. Out of frustration, bear giant MPP. Nanti mo amodi ya didn't share my ghost names. No more the same positions, opportunities in my MPP for man and memma. In Kaya Bonnie. And somebody wants to be rich overnight. Somebody wants to be rich overnight. And to go snips. Near Crash, sorry. Kakunia, oh, Panino, I have idea and then the coffee for you, be first. Now, so far, you know, preacher. And then, why? I don't think that. Yeah, poor Bonnie, and they think that Bonnie, no, Kwan is a. Nya wanu wi bone nkoan se nya wakwa ya baby aye wonim ya baby minim no but me hwe social media baya no wu na ya baby aye hey hwe ma ya pa address pa na da sora mete but ba dwere ne se bone nkoan so obekọ ya baby aye but na nya ho na e bone no anya ho na e bone no anya nya honum wi no anya nya honum apetese no anya ni onum jot no but binim ya bibi ediwiase wu edini pewu ghost names but employment obi nya adwumanye what from PPNDC am muntie me me preaching no mo duru cha nya masofo no preaching no masofo no dia collection ne tight nti sabi anya sofo no. So I balance so bisa nania meka na woman any abstention and done upstairs. President Mahama has this point. No wonder and out here voter region. Yes, in that move. Akwabia ko buburu.
Yeah. Wa local.
No, you cannot say it's a hallmark of indiscipline. For me, I will not say so.
1D, 1F.
Remember, last one. Catch your clock. Why not dear? But so what I said, well, a runner, one day this is the free zone board. Oko can't say. No cancer, we are trouble, ya. Namun Kwana,
Mary, will see.
I now I would have that somewhere that's what it. Sabi cousin, some people before nyanyan, and people before the Dabia moment and yamiasi. Some people nyan crown pa. And Kasaka Sassina would can ye. Can people pa pencil tear? Can begin this by the close of the day in Cabay no floor. But I ran at my Unison idea.
I no crown or catch room.
I no crabia. Nazanya no crabia, so where I am poor dear. I am no cracker, I am poor dear. As I was this, I bofokrum, and this is the view Singando was a man school feeding. No about social media or the Bodia.
Friday, Shaka Sobenya, and we see where I'm. I think I'm a pusher, Mother. Tamo mo appointed that Rosemont, no. I was so by and channel.
No, I'm sure Dr. Baumia office. No, but in politics, you can have all these things. Because you are dealing with human beings. What you are about? Ebetimi abaza bi kura What they come on, sir? Sir, I ran over Baumia office. Now, send this appointing. What is wrong about that? What is wrong about that? Because someone named Moa or poor woman. What I say? Any businessman, 9 people for quite or more than 2,000, and this is quite more money 2,000. What I say? Auntie, why it happened? As I'm an MPP superpower, and this former pampa being that home, it doesn't change anything. Because the system, no, never been tea. And never been tea. Want to me and you be overnight, and to me, possible. But sir, Ross one or me blame MPP for and I mean blame Dr. Baumia say. No, because Ebiana or holding in Accra. Now she was spying for the NDC.
There's all crowd who school graduate, but that Baumia is also a Buana man school now. I be you. So, sir, and yeah, a NDC fan. That's nothing wrong. She's a human being. But you know, one can say, oh, Munya, when I'm going to say, Choboy, no, I'm going to Choboy and you Choboy. Oh, we are right. Brony Becker already offending the sensibilities and the sentimentalities of the NDC activists. What the best at them? But me cry me a man. Me a man. What I say. But then, you know, scratching up or 2 more, not moon. Why not, dear? But you know, that is the way they go on with our politics in Africa. So what's the boy? No
question,
and I said, I won't am I?
Oh, say the promotion was say about the not book amount.
Or say, other district, no. Consuls organizers in and I take it over as not more directed. To one test on non consuls as a district, no. Or no, the idea won't pursue the man.
No, I can't say about. Yes, so. Muna we some we are no say bia oh ebia yenimu ne certificate ne qualification ebia yenimu bi kura no person be de ko bad fofo. But that is politics for you. I can tell you sir, and this ban anu ada mfie awura na ba
you mean I chobo maybe we chobo ne be di egu whiskey you manipa. What's I say? Sir, what I will say. And you know, me na mistake. You mean I chobo. Maybe we chobo and then be the whiskey. You manipa. What's I say? Sir, what I will say. And you know, when I say me na mistake. You mean I chobo.
Nana. So you see the situation. Sure, I'm peeping your problem be one can tampo. That to about in 2016, we are about 2017. There was a Konkoma boy who contested on the ticket of MPP, Tasakamba. And for the first time since 1992, no, just relating close to gap on pa. Just in the close to gap on pa. And the close to your bedroom is 2,000 or 3,000. When you are the MPP party didn't appoint him as the DC. Or more appointing him for so the panel appointing on MCE, no, or non as MCE, no, also to me our resources. And by 2020, no, or more call primaries, no, our resources, the delegate system now to the 4 them fan, which are chas. Compare 2020 and 2024. 2020, and this buying. A buying power. 2024 crowd on the core and on the bed. No, you're very good. Amount for penalty. So now current my uncle to gap no at say
the guy.
That chance. So I mean sabi ka fret you sabi. Eh common sense say since 1992 Chasa Kamba na badia. That's the MPP member 2017. I don't know when Chasa Kamba the MC. And look at the geopolitics in Kintampo. Who Wangara for, who Mo, who Nkranza, who Dagati, who Fulani. You know, NDC constituency chairman from Kintampo, Dagatini. Dagatini. And most of the constituency executives in Nkranza for. And they are more position to get And the baby is a tampon off and transport south. For the MPP, so big just city, no, a free and this in term. But I'm going back on, Ness and MPP was pound. Obebre. These are the dynamics on the ground. And your baby and MPP, Mode, honey. Where dynamics in Libya? What Raman can so her? Now walk or watch it. Go through Poku Chrome at the Jamanoma. A man for the brother from non accounts, be brother from. And those who call delegates. Or better the back to delegation, or better TV, or better fridge, or better to my better Pabwamo. But the 3 general elections, sir, you suffer.
Well, young boy, now I could show 1D, 1F.
Once I gave me disappointment in the NDC.
And I'm afraid of a disappointment. Disappointment, Nibo Musa. Any issue you are disappointed.
Yeah, because you see, me no me no asabi.
It's a my disappointment.
You too quality down. Utim said the private sector and a
movie.
Whether Canada, whether America, whether USA, whether Germany, whether it is the private sector. And Ghana suffer when Dr. Nkrumah started with his policies. No, state policy, state housing, state agric, food distribution company, state way. Because state way. So if you look at the 1966. The Apollo Commission's report very well. Ultimately, say any advisable says state no about interfere with Nyaman Bebre, except baby create to say the electricity, water, and but I no crampon. So for 1966 report to Nabam, say my neighbor for me ya na my private participation. And can be a dinner eating because I never born a kura yes sakura. Yeah, they are my private companies. Tia Fidani Bebre, they are my private companies. So you cannot tell me, say electricity, say water, private to me. Now, MPP for the burn, and I a brilliant year. My typical example. Baby, I mean, who cram whom you didn't, Ocean. And then because you didn't benefit 1D, 1F. And then you didn't, Yagale, no, was silly. Not the corner Nigeria. Packaging identity articulators there 10.
Wow.
We can't be Biana. Because I can't follow Bebre, no can identa. But Bebre no can so CMTC.
Okay.
CMTC channel. Better factory viewer. Abaka better factory viewer. Only said that. But those of us who can read and write, who share how successful are within Eden because of 1D, 1F. Central region. Oh, I be no one no drinking no.
Yeah, juice. Confuse.
And now you live in Ghana. Cocoa processing companies heavily indebted. Extremely indebted. I've once been a board chairman. Me wa nyina kra no me klamosa na mo ntom company. Cocoa processing company as you are talking now is heavily indebted. Of that na kwa me nkom asisi. If you are serious as a country, negotiate. Let private company talk. No producing cocoa, chocolate, But you have a country. Cocoa board to cocoa no akotombe cocoa board de ka. Ghana catch for the most would for the a catch for Cocoa better cotton. But you call Kajetia, my maybe I told you so could be for more than 20 years.
Or more can
or
the Hannibal
University. What I say? Oko to my Sigoma. Mammy not on Punam. Oko Sunania. Mamma Tom Kobe company since the 1980s. Wafa Kobe is out on Abaton if you have anybody university or Moka. Cocoa Abaton MPP Tama, Waboka, and this is Tama, Waboka. Being Yanko drunk country, I say, we cannot accommodate and tolerate 7. This is nonsense. No, so Cocoa Bot and Kasa by now, no, it should be in the private hands. PBC. Call your PBC in the crime circle. PBC call your M circle. Yeah, they are two stock exchange. PBC, a creative, yeah. PBC, I don't know if I be bringing a cooperative for Adani. So, if you are talking about a 24-hour economy, the first thing I say about him say, it's a private sector, no. You shop a man costo. Now, I shop my private sector, na costo, no. I have one district, one factory. I have one district, one factory. Now, what do you mean? I say, yeah, Abba. But 4 billion na Guzitano say open for one 24 economy. No. With due respect, does it make sense?
I don't make sense.
No, you're looking for 4 billion to run the secretariat, the staff, and other initiatives of the same a 24-hour economy. Does it make sense? Operation make sense. You don't know, oh yeah. Factory now, you know, or yeah, Juma 24 hours because demand the Nordic call Nigeria, no, demand the Nordic call Togo, Nibenino, Behia, infidelity is so Nibinuma Ponco. So when you're talking about 24-hour economy, sometimes let me share a crash for the evening from here. Now, when betting who man, who will be who. How do you talk of 24-hour economy? When I say, Madame, for our bedroom watching about or Marco Bonnet to Passetia, filling station, you are. How do you run 24-hour economy in such a situation? Wouldn't me? But I also say some year, can you I want to run about you. Over to my run it because it will chrome. You can run it. And to our doing a Juma Cran, who look at 24-hour economy now, who said, what in your world now, Obama? 24-hour economy are operational. But system in Alabama 24-hour economy no are operational. It is the system. And to put your blueprint a catch from about for them place she can react chrono pop upon pop. Now Ethiopian ideas. Ethiopia 24-hour economy need t-shirt and about printing. Go and send this son to the Marines. Because the system is ya. And you want to have a 24-hour who free at the same. When she never so called new Longula. Who don't when she station a wa quite a hamly quite. When she station and I don't go crowd but only be better on a panel. A 24-hour economy. Because demand they know. And I touch my town. The panel be not our station ho. Yeah, because touch my no so free wow. So free tamalo. Obesiwa, Binuma Fakeko Swing. Now now back as a 24-hour economy. System here 24-hour economy. But you cannot operate 24-hour economy when she Yawa Jum ho. You cannot operate 24-hour economy with Sinane, Ukera Jum ho. Because it's common sense. Ukara Jom way about non son or Chikura, Babeko basic Rabaja Wafa. Nagrana, a catch of policy can, yes, he can real chronobo 24-hour economy. So, what make you the engine of growth in a private sector? About a year. So, we are dying a manner to my economy. Electricity company, the car. Cocoa Bob at the car. PBC at the car. I'm not the necker. But if I have to run a country, I'm both from PP and NDC now, or Pianya control, or Pianya Waterino, to be bold enough to be talking like how Obiri Boahen I'm talking. To be talking like how I make her say. Why are they 24-hour economy? Bia. Baby, all my chop by okay, so we have 24-hour economy. I'm waiting here because care back. Accra of a VIP station one more. 24-hour economy ubetimi ho 24-hour economy ubetimi boy achima boaje hoyi 2M Express 24-hour economy ubetimi they cannot run 24-hour economy in Domain Crew. You cannot run 24-hour economy in Sampa.
Are they?
Because of about no say no so no crime you cannot obiakoda God so you cannot if you come to my me got 24-hour economy no I will run into myself no what can on crono biakoda what you team who crap or ya kura usro say am robes bela. So it's the situation, the environment and the system. Now the obana say wunya amam for my yankasa enchiremu stakeholders padre na gujitano ko jina bakasa am say eventually mo 24-hour economy. Meanwhile, electricity of company the car na abanama subvention. Ghana water company the car abanama subvention. PBC the car, Cocoa the car. Adan. Na mine mo sani ye mine. Sika no so monya bia mo say abane ye market, abane ye way. Or the mama private person because abane paying 4% quick home, we quick home. But how is that how to run a country? Na Africa kawuram ya kawuram because of bad leadership. Are we for Africa? Our leaders are not God fearing. And you son them consider bekono. Anya munyina ye anya no. You should be proactive and reasonable.
Because out on you.
I'm it. You should be proactive and reasonable. I'm not just saying if you are CC corner nimpa we are saying and the adversary cause of brutal we are saying baby. And then there's competition. Then electricity subvention. Way subvention. Big power authority a generate a human sika. May you have 3 cases for info. Compensation won't be a cap pre. What the cocoa na case bebre no big power authority woman ways and means. They have their own ways and means. Copa now man here piano when you capre. Aba because the before yeah give me a what class yeah give me a Mradakro nipanani betio. I am not preaching violence, but I'm being truthful. Enti yanyama bebre so 1D 1F no o matwa die. And Professor Kokwa as an article type tracks ya. Unso be your sit the year. And you Ghana the year.
20 minutes after 8. I won to me 1013. Want to me radio suni and I want to me TV. Lawyer Nana Obiri Boahen. I'm gonna tell you this is the state of Ghana. Every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Yes, sorry, now want to me nationwide sports no aba. You didn't come out at the afar Ghana's abstention. UN.
One gave for beyond best man.
I'm going to one independence.
So let's be very honest to ourselves. What would tell me? Say ya people for pencil, na kufa do war power. Na gave for me look of your manwa. And Kagana dear Nancy Bana.
Okay, the idea of home come on just gone by a 1D 1F cancellation now. Trade Minister record to Masoja Fuenim and Yabohon Common National Thanksgiving and the National Cathedral. And so Yabohon and Common next on the discussion table, no. Yanko engineers and planners NFA Azuma resources on a black voter gold bed worth 52 trillion Ghana cedis, 1.4 million ounces gold deposit home come and the came April 24th April 14th and ye ora ato force and board chair board of governors Emma ECOWAS Bank and what granted $100 million facility Ediama EMP say omunfa enkoye this black voter gold belt project no Azuma resources for say omoja pade no omunna ne ma EMP for no enti they were shocked say omu that celebration ne memorandum of understanding aye sign a contractual one when cameras is you so na Minister of Lands and Natural Resources declared Abasua almost 7 days. It should resolve their disagreement or he steps in. Lawyer Nana Obiri.
We see, Ibrahim is a friend. But let me be honest, as a friend, me nkona jumuda, also mama jumuda. Me nkona fie da.
Nyane mayo go fa mo fa say.
Oh, so me ne hia. Ono ye obi a otafa plane pa. Nti airport.
Okay.
Airport na metane ne hia. Me nkona fie, me nkona office, me nkona ono so ma me fie. But only Ibrahim Mahama hia na one no kasa. The demeanor and the body language, I feel comfortable. You what you say? Whether it's MPP in power or NDC, me no kasa to say Yonko, Adamfo, and we discuss issues. You know, until Adamfo fano airport. Once a while when we meet at the airport, other come in ta kando ya Adamfo. Me call office that me call me fear that was in fear so airport in here. So. Maybe people should not look at it say, oh, you are defending Ibrahim Mahama. But no, I want to defend this. Then we need to be fair. Engineers and planners is a legal entity. Ibrahim Mahama is a legal entity. But you know, abani na nikasa abani na President Mahama and NDC for na dancing wing na abba. Ni abani na President Mahama. And no, the advice I'm giving to President Mahama and other politicians in Africa say, you don't play to the gallery. You don't play to the gallery. What is the, with due respect, what is the big deal about this? What? Sajona, as a Ghanaian, has a mining firm in South Africa. You know, you will be brave. I know of MPP Nipanibia, our mining company in Guinea. You know, Ebiso, all your Juma or Mali. So your own mining firms, left, right, and center. And I say, even a Ghanaian own grandpa. Yeah. Now, in some NDC for no kind, no NDC for the rabble rashes. And so when the opportunity comes, people will pay you in the same coin. In the Japadia, Nebatona Ghana, Nebatona Machum for, Nachum for yet, Nachum for Pesica, na. Brian Champon, plus author who stayed to tells me. And then go again. Yeah, whoa. I can't for before. Namin Siabeka. Beton in your mamma. One can say, a chimney, your president, Nico, Echo Pato. I can't for Yamin Siabeka, but to Tony Manu be Kumifa. Campaign, and people use all these things, including Okuja Trabalako. And people stood firm. Maybe can say, look, that's our company, no, our position to peer. Brian Champon bought Catherine Rest House for $4 million US. No, yeah, $3 million. What yaka? At the hotel bank, and I'll cast a walk. Number Champo Castle. But you know, a state hotels, ton, a co-founder air president. But a champion yakani, Kwani. Oh, California come from the year, but year already. And the same scenario, if you look at the and engineers and planners response to one the bar delegate second page, you know. Who can say, oh, engineers and planners near Bonnet.
It's now from Swabber na Hanson Mining 2013 omuye.
What was my means I say?
To me Hanson Mining 2013 because basically there maintain any justification by the former NDC
administration. Wamuntiaka.
Emma enne Ibrahim Mahama etimi didi wuntumi ho few. Despite air launching the automobile museum no, Kujao said this is real money. We need excavators. Do you understand?
Yeah. So the President Mahama and NDC for no problems no more.
What was the justification?
There's no justification.
And today power changes. What's that the quantum mining so? Nippon and what's what revoking the license, no? What's that one illegal mining?
And you know, if the man is in the forest,
and you come and tell me, say, engineers and planners, oh my, black so, I will not buy this.
If the man is in the forest, take note that there's LI 2462.
A permitted mining in forest.
In forest.
And there's evidence, man, I know for a fact, when they went to a contaminated site, almost drone a quarry. And to mutual video, it captured about 18,000 coconut trees want to be our site so because a captured no want to be show.
So you see the kind of problem we are
facing. Come be a year man was so. And no reclaim land no. Edian kubene e ma.
You see the problem we are facing in this country. And you know, they knock us ethnocentric politics. Ethnocentric.
Now we are the Mohammed do ni aso abeka say Ghana need to me own.
And now Osankra can say, oh, so when you crowd, I say on the own piece can find your share. And say, when you know piece can your share, you know what fascinating. So the problem my friend Ibrahim is going through, and this for any new John Mahama, no one criticize our problems in here. And I was expecting President Mahama because, oh, I am sorry for me to be a I am sorry for me to be a just expecting him to say, I am sorry. Look at the response. And you see, so, engineers and planners here, a mining company or more a year. Now, even one case in our bridge, the crown, I'm told, sir, there's a halt. So it means that it looks like so if Ibrahim's company, engineers and planners, own assassin, you say Ibrahim no cry no, why you born? But problem now burning in every President Mahama and his NDC.
So if the Minister of Lands and Natural acknowledge there is a feud between engineers and planners named Azuma, I also must settle and Sana San took over na what and then so granted 100 million.
They didn't do serious homework. Because the minister needs serious homework now. In case of my woman settle we and Sana body a union. I said, Moya no fear. One in person. I saw Moya no fear. It means there's something hanging on now. Or some mamma minister, in what capacity are the dates maybe a mom? Problem na you want my mono, problem no son. And no, it's apart from intellectual problem, no, ethnocentric politics. Ethnocentric politics. Because you know, that perception, wrong perception. So a bit free ethnic group will be there. So you turn state property a manual, and yet a bit there free another ethnic group will there on the onya, and yet. And it is a serious thing for us. And both the MPP and the NDC, our parliamentarians, our we say, ya no way, ya nam baby bia, tro, no, tro. So, even my recommendation, young town state hotels in be my branch, Champoma. Young corner man from Kobe, the no near high with the young town man. No, could you tell them by a press conference or press conferences? Now, say, I got on that mind, I'm a engineers and planners, and I said, Azuma, you're the engineers planners. Who could you tell black one of me? Some job, one of mama's a problem number. What's in India for a crash for? So you should have not been involved in this kind of Paleolithic age politics. Yeah, the problem we are facing in this country now. I remember in 1992.
At the end of the day, I remember
in 1992.
Yeah, what fam? It was soon. I come the bedroom and no. Say in fear now, say in fear what you. na bompire say aban sesan ebebru ebeto what you are going through you also do same.
I remember in 1992 na jamsere ebi ye akuntabesi from ya GMI, you know, 1992 was Japanese. Now, yeah, also one of the respected characters on the power master. Now, Ofri a great Yantino, Akuntabesi from ya GMI, and it looks like, oh, Akuntabesi for him for now, a man Yamodia, a MPP4. But that was wrong. Said comments. Also, because even before Ashanti became protectorate, you know. Huh? Now, Angola was part. Angola cried any abrofunu din sawo so kra. So, because a bit a hohoa. You know, in the legal sense, you know, Angola also cry part of parcel of Ghana, Gold Coast, and San Ashanti.
Now I'm going to you in Imbra.
And that's exactly what's happening. You know, they can go to...
Say, I'm not going to make master tell me.
Be corrupt. I'm not going to see your money. And that's exactly what's happening. You know, they can go to... You know, and that's why he says, I'm too old to be corrupt. I'm not going to steal your money. Because he knew his relatives would steal the money for him. And that's exactly what's happening. You know, they can go to... And that's exactly what's happening.
Now that's what?
Yeah, but if you are a president and you make this kind of unacceptable and reckless comment. Unacceptable and reckless. Unacceptable and reckless. Because you see, you are making reference to a Akufo-Addo.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, sir.
Mm.
And he...
And I'll say on the when you need to know, you will not be correct, you know, but when him say, the bush for the maybe.
I call it reckless, irresponsible, and unacceptable comment. A president should not be talking like that. A president must exhibit maturity at every.
Now, you can say also their own fat, but would their own yafa.
And I say reckless and irresponsible comment. I don't think I owe him any apology. I respect him a lot. I respect him as the president. I respect him as a big brother. But I think I must be fair and candid. Reckless and irresponsible comment. And who can say, no PK Sapon, ne Sabama, Pokuas, ne Kofinya Konum, so yeah, we are. PK Sapon will write a long essay on that. We are not helping this country. We are not helping this country. President Mahama, when you are get this, anytime a lot of the Ghanaian youth, one more thing, BBC Burkina, no money again. And why? And do you think that we should go to that era? No. But the man, Mayana, Namati Burkina, Ibrahim Traore, woman, you didn't say, woman, Ibrahim Traore, no. Oh, yeah. Opa Mayenka said, Jordan, you didn't tell us to cry a demonstration for Ibrahim Traore supporting Kumasi. Ubayani people. President Mahama, who security advisors, who legal advisors, who political advisors, one more a two for what is happening in Burkina and what is happening in Ghana. Actually, I said, Burkina Faso, I had Ibrahim Traore or Sinto, Meboa. I don't any pedia. But the rate at which
now what I say migrants as a refugees are Omokrum Omo would also buy Burkina Faso.
Oh, no, because
it's your book why heaven. Same communion will come back.
Yeah, but Mr. Symptom, but we share generally how he has started and how he's going on. On your swabofo. But we are even in a position. Say, bet my come, mana broso, and say, Burkina Bay for Crano. They move back. Huh? Not to now, you're the game free Burkina, you're the tomatoes free Burkina. Yeah, wait. Now go on a position yourself with good leadership. So engineers and planners, you know, strictly speaking, I'm speaking for myself. Maybe from SWA. That is my name. Me from SWA. Engineers and planners But my good friend Ibrahim and his company
maybe
are suffering.
to me o my from so because won to me am from so Ibrahim so I am from so
No, me can't say won't me am from so.
And you won protect won to me so another mun granting
I
say
mean I can't say won't me am from so.
Onkai
Me can't because me knowledgeable say won't to me quiet no one. Na say airline on the man quiet no one. How do you blame Wuntumi? But you know, your politics, you know, kabidi politics and thing. It's not the best. Oh, yeah, Appleton. Rollins are Appleton. Boy, Ada, that rich boy, or Accra, and can you know. Ada, so I'm gonna start it first.
okay
Salt factory. Appleton.
Magdan
It was Appleton who started it in the 70s. But when the John Rollins came in 1981, 82, was yeah, and brought to the end Appleton. Yeah, so you're transferring your university, son, you're my way in. What you say about why? Yeah, so a law was passed into, I think, 1982-83. Jerry John Rollins seizing the Songo Salt Mining Company. Songo, almost is here. And if you read a lot of the books, just that because but do we live in a country or Yanzamani or Yakani or Yabuni or Yapini or Yaway? And look, problem the brain.
now Rollins did akamfu o the enfant say na be politics cra she say any party mu say did ho
Some there
say yeah sumuni yimu abusuani yimu say yes
yeah, but you see, people who are doing that in MPP, no, onim MPP abakosam no.
omo yes ade no
Maybe so abuapaye.
omu a council of elders hia omu ka ho national council meeting omu kobi
The first till
omu ye party mbanfo
one.
oba fa no founding member no onim party na abakosam
Bebrenim say kuona your friend no UP no ye Frakobo. It was a conglomeration of political parties.
I want to be bro no akan
Then in October 1958 no omo kabo mu no omo kabo mu no omo friend UP. And predominantly it was the Sirimfo no will be the Mampusi, the Dagomba, the Dagati, the Wala, the Sisala, the Gans, and the Evans. So as a historian, the guy was a Kamakrepa as a tradition group banner, ethnic group banner, they own NPP. Like I said, the accounts no contribution. They cannot in fact
own it.
David.
But I say, yeah, for the last 20 minutes, no, Ingram Wablikuma North.
About one.
And Ra. Nah, and I have more some videos, no pictures from Wablikuma North, and no more show.
It was quite unfortunate.
Young Quay, Nana.
Quite unfortunate. But you see, I'm saying on Bekono, no dilemma. Because me, Margaret, and say, when the party general secretary spoke, young Kono, I think could be a decision.
And he communicated a decision by neck.
Yeah.
No, Nagin, no, Nepe, no, to me.
Yeah.
Neck in Asia. And a neck say young co. And on Obama, you say, party in the position,
say young co.
And you defy it.
No, so you see, it is a party. The definition of a political
and then goes to a party.
The definition of a political party is
I said Obia didn't Obia do pay.
So you can say definition political party and me. Political party a me a dear a nipa be never can be one boom. Never what GDP. Maybe na be person political power and binya and never friend political party. Over Aristotle's definition of political party. Thomas Aquinas' definition of political party, Michael Quay's definition of a political party. Now, party no neck speaking through the general secretary. mo madwene mu na ese nka ye bia respect it. Me mo madwene mu. Some people cry ko na akua free no win na kra. Nka me dia anya me de. Because you see, it's a political party. And we cannot be seen
discipline in the party is getting too much.
No. A year, I'm saying because 19 July na year
University of Ghana.
No, okay.
Yeah, and now what you send it?
Now what you send it? Enti ano no, once I mean, some of the Kohan, I'm obeying Waha.
You know, you Accra.
Until my program.
Yeah, you know. Saturday on a palm, no, you know.
You're good. Me Becca say ye beko akohia na yakọ approve no yato primaries no presidential first me mere dabi ss we register MPP for nyina wo wiase mama bia ID card obia NPS card so far she so no ye paid up member ye need delegate system. Ye album obia ye eligible to vote and to be voted for. Yan to about polling station. Yan to about constituency. Ye better regional. Ye to national. Nyoti abuakwa. Nyoti aferi. Nyoti nkawe. Nyobo fokrum. Nyowa dentia. Nyowa abronye. Nyowo asofri. Nyowo bia tupi. Sana me demand now we shall American party now. The Rebecca shall the chief party no on fa. What I say. And yet and just I may imagine the same thing. So party now fa. As some so
to see a bunting.
Sabere be is no. It doesn't make sense. You know what shall 19 for the crown may campaign Montiasia. The Babatono, Ebia Mania make a benfa. I am bound by that decision. That is how politics, yeah. In fact, in religion, the same thing. We are SD of Rabbi. One casa who we are over their song.
There seems to be no authority in the party. It's boring.
We don't do that. So party the case of Kumano, and I said, no, free no cano. But what is happening?
And that is where I got disappointed in Dr. Bray Champon, Dr. Baumia, Urakan de Japon, party see uncle. Ababa one is Oboko. Mosorea, where's my command Sika? Where's my command way? Where's my so you are encouraging her to go to disobey the party's position.
Just because Mubaba be contest.
Nobody have a fans. What is this?
What is the logic in that? Obiri Boahen kokasa be Obiri Boahen.
What is this?
Obiri Boahen kokasa.
Next meeting what you hobby. Party ne decide. Ababa one is my minister on tia. Now so so di and the Bajisi can call.
Na next meeting.
Me was a win tia the party can. When you answer what say.
Next meeting I want to hobby a general secretary.
Akasa. We should respect authority in the party. Nipa say oya kwala so oya hwan who say he's an authority in the party until say abetuaba no obe lose no be free one he is the general secretary he communicated the position of NEC.
Akwa free ye
o wa kwani so
mo koye
and ye bu bia na me afafia ko bia ko wu ho no
bo abebo ya ndie you should condemn it and this for na nyini and let's be very honest and this for na nyini ye kra. Look at that. Any MPP now not about the Carino.
Lloyd, the deputy national organizer.
It was quite serious and quite terrible. But if we have stood firm, so
because I want to believe there's a party you see, Ebianke, bet my prepare year. You could have stopped some of these things.
Well, and this you go. Yes, see,
don't make us up with yes,
Ablekumano, a rehearsal for Kotia. I know NDC.
You also know. Your party never call Amias Akoboyes, Aniaba.
Yeah. I know NDC. NDC was formed in July 1992. Minimum NDC. They are former MPP in later part of July or August. And like Mami Chair Rosemary Kwam, one of the pillars of the new Patriotic Party. So, I know Abaya Tema, Michelle. So you see, those are the pillars in the MPP, Rosmekwarem, Abaria, Hajia Fati, and the rest. Will tell you what we have gone through. Hajia Fati, the 1996. Wamu Bonoa manage point the Nabian so do. Yeah, Hajia Fati. Now, MPP, ba power noa. One share a chita for the Yenoa, a year did the and you do for the person in Kumian. And then I cover some way in Naba. Because how should a party like MPP invincible data force of 4 and a boy Emma MPP 2016, 2017 and your police 4 and your soldier 4? They gave us the much needed protection.
See, we know, and a catch for no party. But does
it make sense?
And no Mukwayamra.
Does it make sense?
To the point that if you require incite this Delta Force, invisible forces, no, against party people who say, Omuntino, I want to say, call for your authority.
When I was the Deputy General Secretary, Delta Force and Invincible.
Share. How are you coming at from Sano? And you have a kumsen. Just look at this.
But MPP, why are you behaving like in Krankara? Oh, so I'm banning Delta Force and I'm banning Invisible. Oh, I'm not going to NDC. Look, Okowenchia, that be a madam for NDC, Nipa, friend Django. I am madam for power. Django, yeah, strong in NDC. Just give Django the assignment and say, Django, recruit to Nipa Bra. Django will do it. But Okowenchia, why the crowd who tell Django? Why the one who tell Django? But MPP in power and motivation buying now the map are there. NDC in opposition or my Django motivation. NDC in power or my Django motivation. Madam for private Django or friend offer. And therefore, I believe we should condemn it. The my MPP in Conso or Marco, fine, I couldn't go Sumunaso. No go Sumunaso, nice baby could try.
Police station back where you can count more than 50 policemen armed. Policemen. And these things could happen.
Now do you trust the police? Because this is for nobody. Django no ba, and yo. One more bar, or we shall better currency. I bet you. Yeah, I never chatting. Yeah, but it not go, let them work it not Kai. Who bet Johnny?
Now I have pictures, maybe.
But you know, the MPP, if we are being honest and sincere to ourselves, can easily mobilize and get these boys. But anything I make us a polling station, piano. You're organizing a year, me and Twabani, me and my polling station. Kwasia bobo no monsa, kwasia bobo no dot. But we actually kwasia bobo ya well dot no. Okwa bronya. Quadis ya well dot. Quadis ya well dot no. Quadis can protect the valuables. But you have a situation, sir. Kwasia bobo no mo, atajo pass no mo, opire no mo, obia ni mo hwe. No bi na kwatena baby, but I police station elections and we. No ba kwatwa twede diribi. So we are na boy kuroba hu bahabe hu na ne omia so bete ne kankan so we are na boy MPP o ka na okra na wo mo fa
how comes in you know
ai so we are na boy MPP o ka na okra na ya beto aba me Obiri Boahen me dia
slide na member be 6 etuogu so no
Africa for Africans.
Hey.
Look at this.
Nipa bako.
Hey, bako na share sugar for. Hey, our babu tulu. Mama better ha. I when when you clear picture. But we better no akwacha be ma we. Who bond up we? Abema we better no akwacha.
Hey, that is a deputy organizer. Nipa 1 2 3 4 5.
Actually, class on the bone.
Yes. Butu ni tete and say.
And I can tell you, this NDC boys here way. MPP equally you can get. But NDC for no I shall mama.
Ah, see, I know we are few.
What few about?
And ye incite you against some people say, when I'm wow, when I'm few, when I'm show.
You say,
And mobile phone so possible.
party officer. Now you're invincible. And
When it's about ourselves, now why yeah regional elections. Ewo stadium. The ye Delta Force where ye tia ho. Ewo ho. And when it's against the NDC, we can't see them.
and no, only a time came. Someone just banning Delta Force in invincible. No one will be petrol. Yeah. Well, we can't buy me petrol. Delta Force are invincible. Because you know what share. Me know what kasa. I recognize them. I accept them. I sit down with them. I do what I say. Hey, because I have done na bati say ya. Bijin ho be say. Nkroma no ba ko ya fra no nkroma. Nkroma no. Wo nkroma obe dwan. Nkroma. Acho be ya we bodyguard, 17 bodyguard. What I say? Nkroma ni nia ba ko no mensa. Mensa they take care of me in Accra. Oh, my member, trustworthy. They don't drink. Reliable.
The catch, somebody book, some
No, my law. Delta Force. My law. Mango invincible. But who will come and protect you? Yeah, but you have a Mumfa Soja Fomro, Mumfa Soja Fomro, Mumfa Soja for Yanume, Mumfa Soja Fomro, Bero, Munya Quano, on the same on the Yedidia Yamani Bintoya better. On the new on the yeah. I just mean, I'm not bitter. I am not worried. I am interested in the MPP. Move for Soja for more, move for Soja for more. That was when NDC was in opposition. And now NDC coming to power in 2028. Can you imagine what will happen? Now, I said, young police stations in the young Kotoba. Because we got police stations in no Kotoba. Ubanya Bashuru, our police station, Bia, Bashuru. A be police station executive for better abano. But should not protect a ballot boss, the police station. Because Bobo will protect the police station. Quite there will protect the police station. When your boys and I guess I am better about Moka Oka Coffee. Who too far or Mumfa? I'll be before fat. Mumfa Soja from my mother Soja from her. Oh, many, oh, Mampanini, oh, and a body actually. Interior Minister, National Security, Minister for Defense. Nyameka ni na na ba so say am kwase asem. Nyameka ni na ba no ba kita ba no say be me kan kwase.
Obuntie. Eno ni me Moses Abokasai. Also a catch party telephone say this is what I know the NDC will be doing. Obianti. Obianti
in I think in Baba Jamal no. I think it was 208. Was it 208? Akwetiano. Yakoyeno. Ohenento and
Mutabamba.
Bakono. A crapimia obey minister.
Okay.
General Secretary. Dambotri. And this is for no, I should have foreign approach for.
I want to show him to us.
I'm saying, and this is for seeing you. I know you're pulling agent.
Ninja as low so papa and
I know you're pulling agent, you know. I'm saying this is for why you pull agent.
Friako.
Friako. And when the opportunity number, then NDC threatening is among this bandit invisible and Delta Force.
Not why me moye no krom ha no bi beto aba half obi ntu bi ni say popo no say eto aso sa be si na.
Not tamale. I know a lot of our boys in Wa. Uko body guy, a friend all die.
Yeah.
Uni boy no.
Yeah.
All die. Adia pan and can set to Siben Adia ma woman just Bolliga constituencies in no. Man boys no.
So how do we get them back?
Oh, madam,
no. Ah, anyway, yes,
I don't think I will involve myself in some of these things.
A department.
Oh, that no, but now me too follow the fire.
A doing two for you.
I mean to be. Go out to follow the post. Because I've been first from Rabeda Soja for by. No matter how my Inspector General of Police.
I can't hear say.
You have a president, you have a vice, you are Minister for National Security. Inspector General of Police is under the Minister of Interior. And the Minister of Interior thinks that can't pardon. Who the money?
Say soldier phone P.
Say soldier phone P. Minister for defense. Now what you can't say we am a minister for.
And the same IGP tells you that you two about 3 polling stations. What do you provide this security? Am I in your coalition? Am I a
or prepare ground or not for the IGP in the Obiri Boahen? No, people from paying for no. What's wrong? Minister for defense. Me and me Obiri Boahen minister for defense. I will just make sure say every police station in Ghana you be assigned soldier. President Kase no say that I have resigned. Me Obiri Boahen minister for interior. Me Kofi Boahen. So me na me a full minister. And I say look, you're the well-built, well-armed policemen, heavily armed. Beko. Now IGP. And come out resign. And can sack the IGP. Yeah. IGP no there. Oh, it's not lost. I wish them well. Oh, it's not lost. I wish them well. I will go on. We are die about me. So I'll go on with that. But I think that they should learn a lesson. They should learn a lesson going forward. Because police station, when your mama and Maya must already be a constituency constituency chairman, constituency secretary, person we are most MP person. I say I have police station. Police station, piano one 2022 or 2023. 1 year elections in Ghana. Police station behind one of my 2018 year elections in Ghana. And because Azan, a pobo, a dija, person in Kumya, a do for the pet, chrono bo, Yanyabia, 1920. 1 year the property. Tamale, Mama Pan, I won't pay one more Tamale. Tamale, Boko, Wale, the same Laura. Efa. Nkintampo kura nkranza tachimai mwanchi
sese ne ye nyintum se abato no aye patapa no wa patapa se ngosoro no and that you have your way ye nyintum so sa
na sese na wo bajatum. It has been an existing system, and that was why I was cautioning them.
I am restricting myself tomorrow when BBC NASA asofwe in the National Peace Council so called one in democracy proponent no ebekabia. I am restricting myself how to respond.
Roman asofwe no Roman bishop. They marched from the cathedral in Accra to the Jubilee House. So march na galansi asana na be konkron. Na ika mo. The well-known demonstrator in Ghana. PNC ni no.
Mona
no ka ho. Catholic priest are they telling me say galamse na aircraft say western region no any western north no any license na yadema amount from to mine. Catholic priests are they telling me say they are not aware or they are not been reading? Matthew Jamfi cannot tell me that. Because I know that because it's an avid reader. Okay, Karipa. Asafano wa mo hifa. Asafano wa hifa. Akramofano wa hifa. Akrachifano wa hifa. What are the okudatos? What are the subjects? No, the future is bleak for this country.
Okay, Nana, let us say, no,
na PLG, no, so no, we see humiliating my brother.
Oh, we share Chelsea 4/7.
Hey, I'm fine.
Oh, no, let them buy one. No, commission be 80 credit.
No, credit said no because I buy a draw cry. Because when PLG was leading by 2, no, no more I wish you PLG there.
Madrid Betty.
And no, PLG, anyway, Louis Enrique, no. Oh, never do we are saying, maybe we had it you. It's like Ferguson. Ferguson Koye, Manchester United. So, like Mumutimi, Liverpool,
Ancelot.
No, not Ancelot.
Georgian Club,
everybody. Liverpool, 18th Cup, and Sana Manchester United, Baby Drew. So, Manchester. The one who said Georgian Club buy, I would say
turn around.
Then you look at Luis Enrique from his Barcelona days, and then the Spanish national team. Then now where is he? I don't know. Ousmane Dembele has surprised me a lot.
Yeah.
Meaning said no, yeah, dear, but
Dembele.
Meaning said this time no, they were improve power. Then Hakimi also has actually improved. Then Donnarumma, after Donnarumma, only the name say we are singing gold here. Maybe no number the talk of one. But it looks like this time around, Donnarumma has also made it. Yeah, it has been a very nice game.
All right.
A nice competition.
Yan fancy na yan sorry. MPP ma ni MPP mamunu. Monkama kuma ntomo yam. Makata mo se mfie na yi. Say ye kom na edo a live with it. Say ye ebro na ebro wa.
I see as a party. Let me very honest.
Komu atremu ya odie bi atremu.
From 1982 up to
there ya we come back to power.
Oh yes.
Yes.
And this is a party. Go and look their record.
It take account of what you are going through today. Take stock of what you are going through today. Learn a lesson. And then
going back to
position yourself well. When the party comes back to power.
Back to 1972 when a champion came, a pro Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah for me, Wama improve bia. So at this as a party, no, me no, me catching ya, me can, you know. Okay, there's some people about that. Me say, oh yes. The opportunity.
And I say, yeah, fancy Nyame aduma Monday. Yababa abetua so Fancy Di Maria. Couple the Supremo, Newton Lati, Marijata Akomia the Sports Messiah. And I feel Michael as a word. They are doing a wonderful job.
I don't miss the almost sport presentation.
Yeah.
I presenting was original.
Fancy, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know I original. I say, I quite a ball more power. That Mamma is
a Spanish, then Portuguese, need dinner. I want your war not to tell no. I don't know why I say, a pepper. Oh, sir, but you may be. Right, yeah, I mean, come home. Eduarda, you wish you are not getting come.
edi bisa na nsɛm deɛ yɛyɛ nketenkete